football. He's Petros Papadakis. My name is Trent Rush. It's the Houston Cougars and the Arizona Wildcats tonight, where Zeon Chriss took over 4 weeks ago. And boy, this Houston team, even at 4-5, has been a different team since Chriss has taken over.
Well, they've really packed it in, making less mistakes, concentrating on the run game, and he can really run. Very explosive, interesting, unorthodox running style.
Here he is with a loaded right side, and they're going to swing it over that way to Sanford. Sanford is able to break a tackle, gets the first down, and plenty more all the way to midfield before Tacario Davis able to take him down following the gain of 17 yards.
Sanford, a running back that plays along with three others, and he's the guy they like to throw the ball to. Him and Stacy Sneed doing a good job just working his way through the contact zone and protecting the ball. Poor tackling by the Wildcats.
So Chriss doesn't throw it often, but when he does, well, he pretty much converts him. That's 12 in a row he has converted now after an 11 for 11 last week. Primarily a quarterback that will keep it on the ground. Now two tailbacks here, and they're going to hand it to Stanford. Check that, it's a play fake kept by Zeon Chriss, and Chriss can be taken down in the backfield. Loss of one.
Genesis Smith again making a tackle. First one on defense, second one of the game.
Flying out on some kick coverage, some punt coverage as we get a chance to meet this Houston offense on the offensive line. Just one returner from a year ago in Tank Jenkins.
They pieced it together pretty well. Burnett, the angry tailback, true freshman with a very, very tough inside running style. We'll see how much we see him tonight.
Had a breakout game against Utah a couple of weeks ago at 81 yards. They go to the air. Chriss does, well underthrown, trying to get it to Stephon Johnson. In coverage there, Marquise Groves-Kilbrew.
They have explosive receivers. Johnson, who moves around a whole lot. Good job by Killebrew in the coverage. Makai Muse, the punt returner, coming from Georgia. Little slot guy. And Manjack, Joseph Manjack, who's had some good moments this year, but without throwing the ball as much, those guys really have to work for their opportunities and be available when they come.
See the 27% on third down. That's the fourth worst in college football, last in the Big 12. And now a 3rd and 11. The Houston defense held Arizona to a 3-and-out on their opening drive. This is going to be a give up the gut. Burnett gets stopped short, and then the ball comes free. It gets picked up at the end of the play. There to scoop it, Genesis Smith, who's been all over the field tonight with a takeaway for Arizona.
Was it Stanley Ta'ufo'ou who stripped that ball? It's Burnett fighting and fighting for extra yards, the true freshman. But yeah, Ta'ufo'ou snatches that ball away. Big opportunity for the Cats. Scratching.
Just joshing. I'm spending this holiday life.
Willie Fritz hoping his team can clean some things up on the offensive side after a fumble on that last drive. And when Houston has won the turnover battle, boy, a lot different than when they don't.
Well, most teams are this way, but Willie Fritz's team, that's why they made the change from Donovan Smith to Zeon Chriss at quarterback earlier in the year. And Arizona's been a team that's desperate to force turnovers. Dwayne Aquino, the D coordinator, was telling us that.
Quick pass over the right side. They go to Conley, the tailback, who's able to scoop forward and gain 7 yards on first down before Kendrell Webb brings him down to the turf.
Wally Conley's a guy that came over, one of the guys like Sam Olsen, the tight end that came over from San Jose State.
Brent Brennan, the head coach, year one at Arizona. Took him a little bit of time to get things rolling at San Jose State. First couple of years, 3-22, but last 4, 3 winning seasons. Bowl game a year ago, and now the Arizona job. This is going to be a give back to Conley, who gains 4 in the first down.
And they're going to have to do more of that. They're beat up on the offensive line, really struggling at the right tackle position, as you see Jamal Morris, good tackler on that Houston defense. They're going to have to run the ball probably more than they're comfortable doing to protect that young man, Noah Fafita, from trying to do too much.
Pass to McMillan, trying to break through a tackle. Good job in coverage. Jeremiah Wilson, the Syracuse transfer.
And he's really coming on, had a big pick versus Kansas State, beating a ranked team in that sloppy game in the mud a couple of weeks ago. They bring him a lot on corner blitzes. That time, tackling one of the toughest guys to tackle in the open field, big Tetairoa McMillan.
Arizona's offensive coordinator, Dino Babers, knows a lot about Jeremiah Wilson. He had him at Q's. Fifita pump fakes, puts it on the ground. He's got the first down. So Fifita, making it work with his legs, gains 12 yards.
And that's how you want him to run the ball if he's going to run the ball. Make the decision quick. You see that Morris is right in your face. Take it upfield, protect the ball, and slide. Quick decision-making from Fifita looks sharp.
Fifita now with some time in the pocket, but unable to connect with Sam Olsen. Had it in the pocket, just couldn't bring it in. It got knocked away there by Latrell McCutcheon.
Yeah, really good secondary play this year. Is that A.J. Halsey there?
Halsey.
Yeah, it looks like A.J. Halsey, the New Mexico transfer. Really balanced skill, and Latrell McCutcheon's the other guy. We've seen Wilson and Halsey make some big plays just to start. They also have 3 or 4 other guys very close around the line of scrimmage, always making tackles, very aggressive.
Halsey, the Big 12 leader in passes defended. Defended one right there, and then a keeper. Right, Fifita gains 5 yards. Jamal Morris on the tackle.
He really kept that ball in the breadbasket until Zacchaeus Strong was totally fooled, pulled it, and we've twice seen Fifita make really good decisions with his legs on this drive. Nice start for the Cats. Turnover and a good drive here after the 3 and out to start the game.
7th play of the drive coming up. Fifita on 3rd and 5. Likely a free play right here on the offsides. He's going to chuck it downfield. Looking end zone. Got his man McMillan. That's a score. Touchdown, Arizona.
Well, you had it right there, Trent. Zacchaeus Strong trying to time up that cadence from Fifita.
Defense number 90. In the neutral zone at the snap.
33 yards.
And what do you do when you see that you know you got a free play? He got himself into the open field so he could wind up and just threw it downfield to McMillan, who had a step anyway on Jeremiah Wilson. That's a pretty good free play outlet.
40th career touchdown pass from Noah Fifita. Finds Tetairoa McMillan his 23rd straight game with a reception, and that one ends up for 6. And when McMillan has single coverage too, Petros, it's like, come on now, free play, single coverage, why not? And it works out as the PAT's up and good. So it's the Fifita connection to Tet McMillan. T-Mac going up. He's got some hops, and he's got 6 points for Arizona. The McMillan hype is real. One of, if not the best wide receivers in all of college football, known for making unreal plays like this. Petros, McMillan is real and just got a touchdown with some single coverage.
People knew this at the high school level. Is such a coveted recruit. And it's not just that he has a big body, but the description is that he's a big-bodied receiver who moves with the fluidity of a small receiver or like a slot guy. But he's got that crazy catch radius and skill level, and you put those two things together, and that's a top 5 draft pick type of guy. Noah Fifita and him been putting on a show for many years.
From Servite High School to becoming Servite East, I guess. I know we're on the West Coast, but in Tucson, Arizona, it is east of Orange County, California.
Desert Servite.
Desert Servite. I guess that makes a little bit more sense, and it's worked out for them. Meanwhile, that last drive happens for Arizona because of the Houston turnover and a short field for the Wildcats, and now the Cougars trying to figure out how to get their running offense back on track.
Good job by the Cats attacking that football, and here Zion Chris has another opportunity. They gave the freshman the ball, and he was just fighting for extra yards. That kind of thing can happen, but they're on the road. They've got to find a way to recover themselves with a drive here.
Pistol set for Chris. It's DJ Butler behind him. The freshman. Keeper for Chris. All kinds of time. Pump fakes and ends up just throwing it away.
Yeah, he had Butler right away, and the ball needed to go to Butler right away. And once that read was done, there was nothing else there and nowhere to run for Zion Chris. Best thing that he did was not compound the problem and make another bad decision. Threw it away.
Zeon Chriss, who replaced the former Texas Tech transfer Donovan Smith, who is the 4th best passer in the Big 12 a year ago for Houston, but things weren't going well for the Cougars early in the year. They had to make a change, and they're 3-1 since, and this is going to be a keeper for Chriss and just nowhere to go. First contact made by Dalton Johnson.
You mentioned Donovan Smith, also a guy that can run the ball very well, and they've used him since he's been benched for some short yardage situations. Zeon Chriss with short yardage there. They were trying to get a little bit more, but the called quarterback runs for him are not going to be few and far between. They do a good amount of those.
Smith more of a power runner. Chriss supposed to be a little bit more elusive. 3rd and 10, where Houston has struggled this year on 3rd down. Chriss with time over the middle. Hard hit right there, but hanging on and making that catch. Stephon Johnson, 13-yard pickup and a 1st down.
Jack Luttrell, the middle safety, transfer from Tennessee, does a good job of getting his head out of that and just hits with his shoulder. That is a ball that puts Johnson at risk, thrown by Chriss, but Stephon Johnson, the local Houston guy, goes up and gets it. Big 1st down for the Cougars.
Johnson, who began his career at Oklahoma State, has elevated his role now at Houston, and running up the middle is Rashawn Sanford for a game 3.
It's the 2nd time that he's gotten to the contact zone and slipped through for an extra couple yards. He's gotten a lot of run this year. Came into the game with 65 carries. And they've been waiting for one of their backs to get hot, but they have 4 guys that have all created positive things for him.
That was the interesting thing, talking with Willie Fritz earlier this week. It's you try all 4 running backs, see who's hot in the second half. Whoever is doing the best is going to get more carries. This time they go right back to Sanford, and he got a couple of yards before he is met at the line, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5, and then a flag at the end of the play. And Lance Kenley can't believe it.
Lance Kenley, aggressive young man, defensive end out of Mission Viejo, California, transfer from Stanford. And maybe the extra throw there while the whistle's blowing, but...
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 90. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
As our friend Bill Raftery would say, I guess you don't need the Tavernly discard at the end of the play, but at the same time, I don't like it either. Dwayne Aquina, the DC for the Wildcats, not happy, and it's another 1st down for the Cats, 2nd of this drive, and they've got a little bit going now.
Would have brought up 3rd and 5, but instead a 1st. Chriss out of the pistol. Pressure is on. Double reverse back to Chriss. He's going to throw it, and it's going to end up going for a loss of yards, and losing the helmet on the play was Sanford.
And Willie Fritz is over there saying it's a face mask, but maybe it was just a loose-fitting helmet on Sanford. This is a lot of action. That's a reverse pitch back to Chriss, only to throw it back to the back, who's not very close to the 1st down marker. You see the tackle there.
Yeah, Sterling Lane comes up for the tackle. That being said, if he gets by Lane, there was nobody else and a lot of room on that right side.
Good job by Lane. Tackled him and the helmet.
Flip over to Butler. It's forced out of bounds by Owen Goss. 6-yard pickup. Another 3rd down coming up here for Houston.
Balanced play selection from the Cougars. Kevin Barbay, their offensive coordinator, doing a pretty good job keeping this offense within itself the past few weeks, and that's why they've been playing better. 6 rush, 6 pass.
And that's what they want to be. Just sometimes situations haven't dictated that. This is going to be a keeper all the way for Chriss, who's trying to bully his way forward, gains 2, but is going to be shy of the marker. Jack Luttrell takes him down.
Yeah, he found one of his offensive linemen, Peyton Dunn, in the hole like a cork in a bottle. He had to push him, and that cost a little bit too much time and allowed Arizona to rally and make the tackle. But they're going to stay out there and try to get the first down. Only 4th and 1 here.
Houston 9 of 22 on 4th down this season.
Big freshman back. Burnett back in the game, and the pistol there after the fumble.
These receivers punching in, man in motion, maybe an extra blocker. Burnett gets met shy of the line of scrimmage, tried to fight forward. The ball comes free. It gets picked up by Houston. And if his knee wasn't down, that's going to be a first down for the Cougars as Manjack saved it.
Well, that's the second time that he's not handing the ball to the ref. It would go back to the spot of the fumble because it's 4th down. So you can't fumble it forward on a 4th down. But this is the second time that the freshman has lost the ball. Yeah, and he lost it for sure. Goes down and is trying to get it as he's fighting for extra yards. Manjack shows up with it. But that is a rule. That's very concerning. Jamarian Burnett has been one of the more...
4th down. By rule, if only the fumbling player may recover and advance the ball was brought back to the spot of the fumble. The ball will be turned over on downs. First down.
But like we're saying, one of the brighter spots is Burnett. And to have him fumble like that twice is concerning. Arizona's feeling good, though.
They're forcing turnovers. They're getting the ball back next.
A really hard day out there on the football field. They got after us in all 3 phases. And it's just totally unacceptable. You know, we need to coach better. We need to evaluate every aspect of what we're doing and play some clean football, because we did not do that tonight.
That was Brent Brennan after Arizona got beat up at UCF, 56-12, their 5th straight loss. But Arizona, 3 games left on the schedule, needing 3 wins to be bowl eligible, coming out with some fight here to begin this ball game. Third drive coming up. Fifita going to the air. Has McMillan, might have just overthrown him. He did, let him out of bounds. They're going to call that one. Well, let's see here. Officials going to get together.
Talking about it, I mean, did he come up with this? He caught it. He caught this ball. They're saying it's a catch. Look at that.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Is that right foot in, or is it touching the, I mean, it's going to be very close there. They called it on the field, and it looks like the toes hit down, but not the heel. That looked like it was going to be way out of bounds. How does he come up with that? Oh, that's
a catch.
Nah, it looks like he didn't have it secure as he's going down. Look, there's air between his hand and the ball there, and he's out of bounds. But they called it a catch on the field. It was so spectacular, it's hard not to think that, hey, you know, give it to him.
I was going to say, forgive me for not getting a little excited. That was an unbelievable effort right there by Teteroa McMillan, the superstar wide receiver. And now trying to figure out what this is going to end up being called. Boy, it looked like that wouldn't even be close, but McMillan...
If he gripped it with the left hand right there, it would have been a catch. But it seems like it came loose again as he went down to the ground. Either way, a spectacular effort in what looked like an uncatchable ball.
And McMillan has just made some plays this year that are just unbelievable, truly. Let's bring in Mike Pereira. Mike, what'd you see on that play? What'd you think? Catch? No catch?
I mean, I look at it and I just don't think it's a catch. I mean, from the standpoint of, you can see he doesn't control the ball. He doesn't stick it in his left hand when he sticks it up here. So the ball's rolling loose there. Is it come out of his hand? I think it's loose at that point.
So overturnable, you think, Mike?
To
the
me,
receiver did not complete the process of making the catch inbounds. Result of play is an incomplete pass.
Count Sacramento comes through again.
Thank you, Mike. And, well, okay, 2nd and 10 coming up here. But McMillan, heck of an effort for not. Now the Wildcats will try to dial up something else with Noah Fifita.
How's he running that free is my question. If I'm Sheil Wood, the Houston defensive coordinator, that's pretty wide open, despite the fact that Fifita barely missed it. How about the effort?
Fifita's got no one near him right now except the linebacker. Ball goes over to the right side. That's going to be caught by Chris Hunter, who's that second option. Sophomore from New Orleans, 6-yard gain. And we saw Chris Hunter step up last week. The coaching staff has been really encouraged by his progress. It's his 19th catch of the year. Career game against UCF. Not a lot of bright spots for Arizona in that game, but Hunter may have been one.
They need somebody on the other side to balance things out.
So here comes 3rd and 4. Empty backfield. All kinds of time for Fifita, who runs into a lineman and then that time quickly closes. And Houston comes in, gets a tackle in the backfield. Carlos Allen in there, Keith Cooper in there, and a loss of 4.
Cooper's the guy that caused that problem because Savadi Inaya, the great left tackle who's going to be a guard in the NFL, number 71 there, just gets caught between the moon and New York City. Between Keith Cooper and his quarterback, Noah Fifita. And Fifita unable to escape because of that. Looked like for a second he had a lane. Nice stop by Houston with an opportunity after the turnover on downs to take the ball back.
Second time tonight, he has been sacked. This punt is going to be fielded about the 15-yard line by Mekhi Hughes, the Georgia transfer. McMillan, after an incredible effort on first down, unable to bring it in. Drive stalls. Houston taking over. Zeon Chriss on the left side of your screen is the quarterback now. Donovan Smith on the right side of the screen was the quarterback early on. But the reason for the change, well, first of all, the turnovers, a huge issue. And really, ever since the change, Chris has taken over and Houston's offense has been much more effective.
Yeah, they were just trying to do too much with Smith, and they kind of were getting to know their team and figure out their identity, and they realized that they're going to have to simplify things offensively. And Chris has been a big part of that with his explosive ability to run.
Ball's been on the ground twice already tonight. Neither Chris's fault. That said, Houston's got to try to do a better job protecting the football. Dalton Johnson gets the tackle there.
One of the young bright spots on their offense, Burnett, has fumbled twice. They lost one, and the other one led to a turnover on downs. So almost 2 turnovers in a tough situation from a back that they wanted to get the ball to more. We'll see how they adjust.
It's been mistakes for Houston as well. Arizona's touchdown came on a free play on a penalty. Rolling to the right side is Chris with the pressure on. Throw is short, incomplete. Genesis Smith there applying the pressure.
Looked like Lance Kennelly might have had a play, but he's stuck inside a little bit. Genesis Smith there also forcing the throw that's short. 3rd and 9 is a long way to go for this Houston offense.
Just one completion on 3rd down so far, and it nearly took out Stephon Johnson over the middle earlier. And another 3rd and long situation for the Cougars. That was Carr in motion. It's going to be a keeper for Chris. Chris just nowhere to go. There's a swarming tackle made there after a gain of 3. He brings up 4th down.
Conservative play call by Kevin Barbay. Chris didn't see much there, taking it into the line of scrimmage early. But if you look at the bottom of the screen, there's nobody all the way out there with the empty backfield set. Never looked.
Jeremiah Patterson back to return for Arizona, gets it to the 32, spins to the 40, gets a couple more before he's brought down. So about a 10-yard gain on that return. Hey, Big Noon Saturday is back in Boulder as Heisman favorite Travis Hunter and Colorado square off with rival Utah. It all starts at 10 a.m. with Big Noon kickoff live. Then it's Utah, Colorado at noon only on Fox. Big 12 action tonight as well. The Big 12 has just been topsy-turvy this year. A lot of high expectations for Arizona coming into this season. Projected to be a top 5 team in the league. It hasn't played out that way. The departure of several players, the head coach, a bunch of injuries. Brent Brennan trying to keep this Arizona team fighting here. As Riscano gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they brought out their fullback, Caden Luke, and tried to bring him in motion and lead him through. Houston recognized it immediately, made a good play. And the offense in this game has slowed down considerably since McMillan was called out of bounds there, and Pereira helped us out.
Trips to the left side for Fafita, steps up. And that pass is incomplete. That's the second time tonight that McMillan's been targeted and just hasn't been able to bring it in.
Yeah, throw it out there to the left, or to the right, excuse me, left of the defense. And you see him just a little bit far for McMillan, but he should be able to come up with that with the best catch radius in all of college football. And that's the second one out there, like you said.
Meanwhile, a key player for the Houston Cougars defense is down. That's Keith Cooper Jr., a senior from Dickinson, Texas, who came with Willie Fritz from Tulane.
He's having a great year. Yeah, came with Sheil Wood and Willie Fritz. And one of those guys that kind of brings the message of the coaching staff to the new team, which is kind of prevalent these days in college football with the transfer portal.
Cooper's story is interesting. He wasn't even going to play high school football until the coach at Dickinson High School said, hey, no, we need you to come out and play. And he did. And, well, now he's had an outstanding collegiate career. Meanwhile, Willie Fritz, who's been through pretty much every rung of the ladder on the coaching tree, has climbed up to a point where he's coaching a Power 4 football team here at Houston, but trying to figure things out in this final stretch of the season. You got to imagine trying to clean up some mistakes here early on in this game for the Cougars.
Willie Fritz is just a guy who knows how to do it, knows how to treat people, knows who he wants to hire as an assistant, has so much crossover with so many people as he greets Cooper on his way off the field. Just gets a lot of respect from his players because he expects a lot. And there's so much to be said about coaching when you're the same guy every day, that the players know exactly what to expect. And I think in today's day and age in college football, players gravitate more and more to mentorship, guys like Willie Fritz and the staffs that he hires.
Sheil Wood saying he just sets an expectation of a standard for everyone to meet on a given day. Now here comes a 3rd and 10 for Arizona. They're 1 for 3 on 3rd down so far, and a takedown in the backfield. Coming up, Carlos Allen for the sack.
Carlos Allen, the transfer out of Kennesaw State. It's that right side that's had so much trouble, and no help from the tackle there, Capra, and Deuce just kind of passes him off. And Allen, quick to Fafita, and that has been a huge problem all year for the Wildcats. Forces another punt.
3rd time tonight, Fafita's been sacked. How about this? First 4 games of the year, he was sacked only 3 times combined.
3 times in the first quarter.
3 times in the first quarter tonight, and in the previous 5 games, 16 sacks. That's once every 12 pass attempts. As there is a flag at the end of the play near the punter.
Kick catch interference maybe here. We'll see if he gets blocked in. Yeah, but they'll call that. Even though he knocked a player into the punter, Riscano, the running back, I think that still applies with the letter of the law.
Yeah, there were a couple of maybe points of infractions on that last play. One at the point of return, one at the point of the punt. And I think that's what the officials are probably trying to sort out right now here late in this first quarter.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 3. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
All right, no kick catch interference, just a hold.
All right, so after all of that, you're right, just a hold here. And we'll see Houston's offense get one more play here before the end of the first quarter. Their defense is doing a good job putting pressure on Fafita. But Arizona's touchdown to T-Mac has been the difference so far as McMillan went up on single coverage and brought in the touchdown reception. That has been the difference in the ball game so far as Zion Chris comes back out.
Yeah, not much offensive consistency other than that moment. See if Houston can get their run game going against an Arizona defense that has been decimated by injury, but playing much better tonight.
Back here is Stacy Sneed. Sneed for speed. And it's going to be a keeper for Chris on the option. He'll gain a few yards. Taratia Uyangalele ends up making the tackle, and that's going to take us to a break. We've played one quarter in Tucson, where it's the Wildcats enjoying a 7-0 lead on this spectacular play by McMillan.
She want neo soul, cause hip hop is old. She don't want no rock and roll. She want platinum, ice and gold. She want
Arizona enjoying a 7-0 lead. And try to sort some things out.
There's
with
a lot
that
to figure out there. Too much Christmas, too early. Respect Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Nobody respects Thanksgiving enough, and it's the best football holiday. 2nd and 7 coming up. It's Sneed to the left side of Chris for Houston with Arizona up 7-0. Pass gets over the middle, and it's going to be Muse who will take it for a first down, 8-yard gain.
Little stuff like that really is going to help Houston out. Get Muse free, coming across the field that time. All the way across the field on the drive route. And Chris is able to dump it off. Just little completions, help them with confidence, and help to open up what is a really potent run game.
Guy Muse, Georgia transfer, 2-time national champion. And Houston upset Kansas State a couple of weeks ago in their last game. Their ability to just try to dink and dunk, and then that just led to some big play opportunities. And speaking of which, skirting his way up the field is Zion Chris, who's going to gain 21 yards, just kind of bouncing his way through that Arizona defense.
That's the unorthodox running style that I was talking about. We saw it when he came in against Cincinnati and just started to kind of run through people, and you see some poor tackling from Arizona, but people just kind of fall off him in a way. Tay Brown ends up making the tackle.
Chris able to now get into Wildcat territory, so Houston with one of their best opportunities in the game so far. This time a handoff to Sanford, who's going to beat by everybody. Sanford still going. It's going to be brought down at the 10. It was Davis finally after 38 yards.
Look at him just slide through. Looks like just a regular zone look, and Sanford, really good vision. Pops that one out to the right side, finds a seam, and then explodes. Basically down the hash mark for a huge run for Houston, and that's what they can do. They're very patient with their run game. All they had to do was complete a 5-yard pass to Muse.
Manjack in motion, another give. They go up the middle. And it was Sanford who gets even deeper into Arizona territory after gaining 8 yards. That's 2 more than he had all last week.
Looks like counter action. Look, he's going to turn away and then move up. Counter action almost to the first down, and he really followed the scheme very well. The tunnel almost took him straight to the goal line.
Houston has struggled in the red zone this year. Less than 32% touchdown rate. But now the keeper for Chris, finding his way forward, extended, and I think he might end up being short. He is. Trey Smith with a touchdown saving tackle.
Yeah, Smith was on his legs, and that's really close. He fell forward into the end zone over the goal line, but I think the knees were down, as you said. I don't know.
Well, where's the ball? I know he extends late, but where was it when that knee hit? Now Donovan Smith, who ran for a touchdown last week, back in there.
Yeah, they like him in the short yardage. He's bigger, 6'3", 6'5", 235.
Option play, fighting for it is Smith, and he's going to be stopped short. Now the ball comes loose at the end of the play. Sounds like it was blown dead before the ball came loose. Regardless, 4th down coming up.
Genesis Smith has been all over the place on this drive. A good job by the Wildcats bowing their necks and getting a stop there, especially right at the point of attack. Looks like they called progress. 4th down. Zion Chris is back out there. Nobody wants to kick a field goal tonight.
Houston unable to convert their 1 on a 4th down try. Here comes Chris. Man in motion's Frederick. Chris is going to roll to his right. Still looking, looks downfield, incomplete, and Arizona gets a goal line stand.
Huge shot in the arm for a defense that's been decimated by injury. This is the 2nd turnover on downs in the first half.
The pass incomplete, and Arizona will take over at the 1. The motivated Wildcats need to win out to make a bowl game. They got a touchdown from McMillan early and a goal line stand. Means they'll take over at the 1 here in the second quarter. I'm Trent Rush with Petros Papadakis. 10:54 to go here in the first half. But that said, Fafita's been sacked 3 times already tonight, and you know Houston brings pressure.
Well, they're trepidatious here in Tucson.
He's just trying to sneak it forward. He'll get a little bit of breathing room.
Be interesting to see if they'll be able to get a first down. You go 3 and out here, you don't get a very good punt. Houston just had a pretty good drive running right into the heart of your defense. Very important for the Wildcats to find a way to hold on to the ball a little bit here, because the way they've been sacked and pressured, Noah Fafita running around the end zone with the ball, not a great prospect right now.
Conley's the tailback. It's going to be a give to him, who gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage, able to dive forward, taken down by Anthony Holmes Jr. back in the game.
We talked about why they're trepidatious to drop back in this part of the field, maybe more than a lot of teams. You see the amount of sacks that they've given up the last 3 weeks. They're really struggling trying to find a right tackle. Totally shuffled offensive line. They've lost 3 starters at least since the season began.
Empty backfield for Fafita. Quick pass over the right side. Incomplete, was targeting Conley, not there. So Arizona now in 5 possessions has the 1 touchdown and 4 3-and-outs.
3 and out after a big goal line stand turnover on downs. Not boding well for Coach Brennan. Now they're going to have to punt it. That one was a little off to Connolly. I like the idea. Let Connolly catch it and fight for the first down. Not holding the ball too long, but not really an accurate throw, or Connolly was in the wrong position. And there's a dangerous punt returner waiting on the 50.
He brought one back for a score against Rice earlier this year. It was a top 15 punt returner in the country last year at Georgia. Short punt is going to be fielded at the 45. Muse breaks a tackle, has a little bit of space on the right side, now past the 40. Here's Muse going still to the 30. 20 now, Muse still going to the 10. 5, he's in the end zone. There's a flag on the play, but Muse took it back for now.
Well, it was a particularly poor punt that got to Muse quickly. Not high in the air, no hang time. So there was a lot of space for him to create.
Holding receiving team number 94. 10 yards penalty in the spot of the foul. First down.
How close is this to where Muse was? Because there was so much space for him to create on that right side.
So a hold call is going to take a touchdown off the board for Muse. Let's see it.
Oh, there it is. So far from the point of contact. The hold is Garfield Lawrence called on the hold there, and you see right there just the flailing of the arm late. Did not look like the defender was in any position to make the play on Muse. Fortunate call if you're the Wildcats, but Houston's still in a great position.
Yeah, they get a short field ball at the 45 as DJ Butler slides through a couple of defenders before he's brought down. Gained 2 yards on that play, but Houston, a team that had a lot of penalties early in the year, had really done a good job cleaning that up. 2 penalties tonight, both have been on punt coverage. For Houston, it's been tough sledding here offensively to begin this game.
Well, they were right knocking on the door moments ago, And they've not had too much trouble moving the ball with their run game. But a couple turns over on downs, you got to give Arizona's defense credit.
This is going to be reverse over to the left side, and taken down is Malik Carr. And that's Genesis Smith back there for the tackle. Loss of 5.
Yeah, it looks like they just run an end around here. Malik Carr lead blocking there, and then they run Devin Williams around. And a nice play again by Owen Goss, who was able to make the stop on that last 4th down on the goal line. Big 3rd down again, and 3rd and 15 is not an easy one for this Houston offense.
Houston struggled on 3rd down this year. They've struggled just in general offensively this year. 131st scoring offense coming into this game. Chris dancing to the backfield, just gets rid of it in time, and it's intercepted. Coming up for the takeaway, the Arizona Wildcats getting it back. Genesis Smith comes up clutch.
He's been their best performing player all year long as a safety. With the loss of Jacob Manu and Stukes and Maldonado, the whole brain trust of the defense, Smith has really come on, and he read that really beautifully. But at the same time, Chris falling backwards, throwing that ball to the sideline, just trying to get rid of it, did not have enough on it to get it out of bounds, and Smith makes a great play, and another mistake from the Houston offense. These are the type of turnovers that they've really been trying to avoid from the quarterback position.
Takara Davis came up with some pressure as well from that corner spot. That results in a turnover, and now here's Fafita with a handoff. They go to Risano. Risano, the Ole Miss transfer, no gain.
Can Arizona take advantage of the opportunity they created for themselves? Things were really bad. They get a fortunate penalty call on a punt return for a touchdown from Muse. Get a couple of stops in the early downs and then come out with a big pick.
Cats will bring some of the big bodies in, now put a man in motion. It's going to be a keeper for Fafita, met behind the line of scrimmage and taken down by Kendry Gant.
Gant has had some neck issues, transfer from Louisiana. I like the idea of calling run plays for Fafita just to keep that defense on their heels so they're not rushing so hard. But that one does not work out. They cannot fit against Houston's run fits, which have been pretty excellent tonight.
3rd and 10 coming up for the Wildcats. There's McMillan, top of your screen. Over on that left side. Looking right side, here is Fafita, and he's got a completion, able to get it to the tight end, Sam Olsen, for a first and a big play for the Wildcats.
The junior transfer from Visalia came over from San Jose with Coach Brennan. You mentioned Fafita's on the other side. Everybody's looking there. Olsen runs a good route. A nice move.
6'3", 241, and fleet of foot for a 31-yard gain as Chris Hunter gets it here.
I mean, that's a corner, a Johnny Carter, that's trying to guard him one-on-one, and he gave him a little bit of a armbar move and ran right by him.
Then Hunter bounces right back for Arizona and gets 5 more yards for the Cats. So 2nd and 5 coming up, 6 minutes to go here in the half.
A turnover, and this is what's happened throughout the year. They've got to find a way to play some complementary football. Let the turnover ignite your offense and use that momentum.
Man in motion is Hunter. Keeper for Fafita. Takes a hit right there. Michael Batten.
Yeah, he's tough. Smart guy who plays really fast. Batten. Highly productive linebacker for Shield Woods defense. And you don't like to see your excellent quarterback, who's a little undersized, taking hits like that. Good ball security for Fafita.
Batten, 6'1", 220 senior. Just a hard hat wearing kind of guy, blue collar player.
Great against Kansas State, and he had a big pick.
3rd and 1. Up the middle is Squally Conley, gets the first down, 5-yard gain, and a fresh set of downs coming up for Arizona.
Little moments like that with this offensive line, as you see Coach Brennan understands how important it is to be able to run the ball for a first down. Here in the first half, takes a lot of pressure off the play caller, Matt Atkins, as the game goes on, trying to protect Noah Fifita. And get the ball to McMillan downfield. You got to drop back a little bit to do that and let him develop, and hadn't been a lot of time.
Atkins play calling very balanced so far, and a timeout's going to be called by Arizona here with 4:34 to go here in this half. Atkins, who took over the play calling duties for Dino Babers after the first 3 games. Babers came from Syracuse, a veteran coach. As Arizona came in with such high expectations into this year, and while they have not met them to this point, still finding to keep this season going. It's described earlier this week by Brent Brennan, this last stretch of brotherhood for these guys. 3 games left.
He's always done a good job keeping a team together and keeping guys fighting for the same purposes through difficult things, adversity, what you usually fight in any football season. But this one has been particularly difficult. The offensive line injuries, the expectations with Fifita and McMillan coming back, and then losing your 3 best players, the brain trust of your defense, has really set the Wildcats back this year.
And not just their best players, they're emotional leaders in so many ways. Conley takes the handoff, tries to skirt his way to the left, but Keith Cooper is right there, and, well, he got a little help as well from Michael Batten, taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Batten with a big hit on Fifita a little bit earlier. Keith Cooper, who had to come out due to injury, good to see him back in the game. And when you're behind the sticks right now, 2nd and 10, Arizona does not want to stall out on this drive. They want to be able to finish this in the red zone, have a touchdown that's not off a free play.
2nd and 10, empty backfield. Fifita pump fakes once, now a strike over the middle, overthrows McMillan. Incomplete, 3rd down coming.
He was in front of Kentrell Webb, and he was wide open, and well-designed play. Fifita got it out of his hand early, but just not accurately. McMillan might have come a little bit less flat out of his break than Fifita expected. Rare miscommunication between the two.
Arizona's converted 3 third downs tonight, 2 on this drive. 3rd and 10 now. Fifita still dancing back there. Fifita now on the run to his right. End zone. Incomplete. McMillan was trying to drag that toe, but it goes out of bounds. And Arizona stopped in their tracks.
It's a very good example of how Fifita extends plays to throw. That time he does. And just barely off the ground. That right foot of McMillan, his ability to almost make these plays. That's the 2nd one we've seen in the half. Very impressive, but Arizona's going to have to attempt a field goal after not being able to convert that one into a touchdown.
This one from 29 yards. Luke, 45 of 47 inside of 40 for his career, but the hold is unable to be held on to. And Michael Salgado Medina gets tackled by Laquell McCutcheon Jr. So McCutcheon comes up, and Arizona's field goal try. Oh boy.
Oh. Disaster in the desert.
Coming up on the FS1 College Football Halftime Show, Georgia in must-win mode this weekend against Tennessee. Is Colorado bound for the Big 12 championship? And we'll ask which projected playoff team could be in big trouble. Speaking of trouble, let's send it back to Petros. Trent, try and keep him in line, okay?
What did I
See you
do?
guys in half.
I'm doing my best, Mike. I really am. Appreciate that. Looking forward to what you guys got coming up at the half. Meanwhile, this Houston offense trying to pick up the pieces here. They got a break after a missed field goal try, and that's going to end up being caught. Stephon Johnson looked like he had a trouble bringing it in, but ends up with 22 yards on that pass over the middle.
Yeah, look at Chris pull this ball real quick in the RPO and release it. Sometimes, you know, after a back fumbles or a quarterback throws a bad ball, you want to get him right back on the horse to get that confidence back. Johnson able to secure its second catch in traffic he's had this half, and a nice first down for Houston.
Save that one from hitting the turf.
A disaster for Arizona. I mean, wow. After a good drive, they can't get it in the end zone, and then the bad hold.
This is going to be a give to Stanford, who breaks a tackle, found a seam, and then tried to run over the defender right there. He has a first down plus, 15-yard pickup.
Well, it's not been hard to find the hot back for Houston in this game. It's Rashawn Sanford II out of Harker Heights, Texas. He's been very explosive, and he's been slipping out to that right side and doing a great job of really accelerating. Already 72 yards.
12 yards a carry right now going for Sanford. Who does he think he is, Ashton Genty?
Wrong conference.
Less than 2.5 minutes to go here in this game. In this first half, rather.
Ollie Gordon was the guy in the Big 12 to start the year.
It's going to be a handoff to Chris, and now he's going to get a first down. So all of a sudden, Houston's running lane starting to open up a bit, Petros.
And this is what they want to do. It might not look pretty early in the game, but as the game goes on and a very thin Wildcat defense, you wouldn't be very wise if you didn't continue to run the ball and get a push.
So that's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. Houston figuring some things out offensively. They haven't been able to punch it in yet. It's Arizona with a 7-0 lead. Both teams trying to take advantage of opportunities. Zeon Chris trying to lead this Houston Cougar offense to a score here with 2 minutes to go. But how about this in the break? Dwayne Aquino, the defensive coordinator, bringing some fire in that huddle.
He's getting after Tay Brown, it looks like, over the way that Sanford has squirted out the last couple times he's run the ball. He wants more aggression at the line of scrimmage toward these young backs.
Aquino, 43 years into doing this. Deep pass downfield, incomplete. Tried to get it to Johnson, incomplete. Marquise Groves Killebrew is there. Just led him a little too far.
He had him open, and there was a step there. And they are attempting to throw the ball down the field with Chris, trying to loosen up that Arizona defense. Other than the bad pick, Chris has not made a lot of bad decisions tonight so far. Just the one.
30 more passing attempts in this game than he had all last week. This time keeps it on the ground. Picks up 2 yards, gets to the 30 before Owen Goss is there.
I mean, both of these offenses are trying to do their best to move the ball, get first downs, hopefully score in the red zone without making these crippling mistakes that has plagued them throughout the year. And you see the third down conversions. Part of that is because of the situation. Part of that is reluctance to really take a lot of chances.
Key third down coming up here. A little over a minute to go here in this half. Chris to throw. Drifting back. Tries to get a little screen pass underneath. It's going to be caught by the tight end, Malik Carr. And really just nowhere to go, and that was sniffed out by Arizona all the way, a loss of 1.
Yeah, there was pressure on him in the screen call and people defending the screen as well. Not really see much of a screen action there. Not a lot of offensive linemen downfield. Not really sure what Carr was releasing to. 4th and 8 either way.
All right, on Sunday, it's an NFC North rivalry as Jordan Love, the Packers, take on Caleb Williams and the Bears. Or it's the Seahawks battling the Niners or other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area Sunday on Fox.
Better body language from Caleb Williams on the picture there.
It's been a tough start for Caleb Williams.
Some BBL, some bad body language. I don't like to see it.
Meanwhile, Willie Fritz trying to see if his team can get a little better body language with some celebrations in the end zone. They're going to try to kick a field goal here with Jack Martin, the senior. He's made 5 straight. This will be a 49-yard try. Trying to put Houston on the board.
Would be his long.
And this is his first one this year, but has made 5 in a row since. Comes the senior from that left hash. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up, looking good. He got it. Over on that right side, just able to keep it inside that right upright. And the Cougars are on the board. Houston able to get points before the half.
Jack Martin sliding this one in it. Looked like it was going to push past there. And right there, it's on the inside over the upright. Officials make the right call, and Houston, after moving the ball pretty effectively in the first half, get some points on the board, something to show for it.
It seemed like that was really that first drive the Cougars have had where they were able to break open a couple of big plays, get some key first downs, and find some of those running lanes a little bit.
They found some run lanes here in the first half. Remember the fumble and then the turnover on downs and then the goal line stand that Arizona's had. They've done a pretty good job on defense limiting this Houston offense that naturally limits itself because they're not trying to make a bunch of mistakes. The real concerning thing is with a guy like Tetairoa McMillan and Noah Fifita, just how on and off and herky-jerky this Arizona offense has been. And I think that's been the issue all year, most of which based on the offensive line's injuries.
That one's going to end up going for a touchback. Our last drive, 7 plays, 49 yards. And field goal after 3 minutes and 6 seconds for Houston. And now Arizona with 42 ticks before halftime. We'll see maybe does Fifita take a shot to McMillan to create a little separation.
They've got a timeout. They have the players offensively to do it. Sometimes in a 2-minute drill, a quarterback can come to life. And any quarterback can come to life if you got a guy like McMillan out there on the edge. But can they keep Fifita clean enough to get the ball out to him?
Loops made a 54-yarder earlier this year. That's your kicker. Pass over to the left side. It's going to be caught by Chris Hunter and go way up to get it. Gets the first.
Second time they've gotten a first down going to the opposite side from McMillan. Once it was Olsen, this time it's Hunter.
Cats trying to march. That's going to go through the hands of Jeremiah Patterson. Stops the clock.
Incomplete passes are not the worst thing when you're in the 2-minute drill, but they do hurt your rhythm. And this one looks like it hurt Fifita's rhythm a little bit. He steps into the throw. And there's been a couple of those out to the left side, that one out to the right side. The first two to McMillan that got through his hands, that one Patterson, his first target of the night.
There's Tyler Loop warming up now. He got to get to maybe the 38 or so, 40 to feel comfortable. Pass over the left side for Conley, who's just going to tiptoe out of bounds. So a 7-yard gain stops the clock. 17 seconds remaining for Arizona.
They just need 1 or 2 more little chunk plays to get that field goal try. This has been pretty well executed by Noah Fifita.
Yeah, this has been really one of the better drives for Arizona tonight. Coming with just 43 seconds on the clock when this drive began. 2nd and 3. 17 seconds left now here in the half. Empty backfield. Fifita over the middle has McMillan. Gets across the 45 to about the 42. They do have a timeout. 11 seconds to go, an 11-yard gain. Is that going to be enough for Loop to try to hit a long field goal?
I like the play call. McMillan underneath, catching the ball and running a little bit. Just came off the line of scrimmage very nonchalantly. They lined him up in the slot to free him up there. And creates a first down and decision time for Coach Brennan.
11 seconds left, but out of timeouts are the Wildcats. So if they do run a play, you better make sure you either get out of bounds or it falls incomplete.
So Fifita's out there. They're going to try one more play. to get a little closer or take a shot. They're pretty far for that, though.
We're looking at like a 60-plus yarder from this point. Loop's good, but 60's a long way to go. Up high for Hunter is incomplete. And now we'll see if they'll test the leg of the senior Tyler Loop.
This situation with Fifita in the backfield, stepping in and throwing it, could have been a very violent collision out there with A.J. Halsey, who pulls off before maybe bailing out the Cats and making it a better field goal attempt here.
So this will be a 62-yard attempt coming up. Now, Loop is 5 of 9 in his career for more than 50 yards. His longest is from 54, so this would be a new career long. And Mekhi Muse was hanging out deep in the end zone to maybe try to make a return here for Houston, should it come up shy.
Nothing better than watching the big offensive line guys on a field goal attempt chasing down a guy like Mekhi Muse, the old kick six. Coach Fritz knows all about that.
Every scenario has to be covered, and you know Houston's thinking that. Muse had one taken away earlier. So here comes Loop from 62 yards on this try for Arizona. Boy, that's a good kick right there, and Loop has a new career high. A 62-yarder is going to give Arizona a touchdown lead at the half.
Whoa! It's a windy night in Tucson, but not that windy. Jeez.
Absolutely drilled it. How about some kicker love on a Friday night in the desert? Tyler Loop, just a line drive, never a doubt. Been good for a few more yards. Muse looks up.
Yeah, no chance.
You know he wanted to take it back and one called back earlier. So coming up after the break, we're going to take you to Mike Hill in the studio, and the gang is going to have you covered for everything going on in college football. But Arizona up 10-3 at the break.
Hey, welcome inside our Los Angeles studios. Mike Hill along with Chris Peterson. Coach, now that we've had a few days to process this week's college football playoff rankings, which currently projected playoff team are you most concerned about as we take a look at the bracket right there?
Yeah, when I sit here and look at this, Mike, my eyes go to that Miami team that just lost against Georgia Tech last week. And I think Miami's going to win out. They play Wake Forest and Syracuse. But would they go into that championship game probably against SMU?
Yes.
And if they don't win that, I don't see the committee taking a 2-loss ACC team in there. And that's the one team that I kind of am concerned about. They played such spectacular football this year. They're fun to watch. But I think if they lose to, when you look at all the teams stacked up in the SEC and in the Big Ten, I think the committee's going to lean heavily on those teams. And I'll be surprised if they take a 2-loss team from the ACC.
Wow, that's a stumble. What about if SMU runs the table, their only loss being against BYU, and then they lose to Miami or Clemson? Could you see SMU getting in?
I'll tell you what. I don't know about – I mean, this is where it's going to be like we are splitting hairs because, I mean, losing to BYU, if they run the table, that's their only loss. And they lose to a Miami, who's a really, really good team. I mean, this is where we get into, like, people are going to be really angry about this thing. We thought it was going to be easier on the committee. It's still going to come down to 3 or 4 teams that you can make a case for. And then it's going to be eye test, strength of schedule, all those type of things.
I remember last year, when they go to 12 teams, nobody's going to be complaining about not getting in. Sure they're not. There's going to be a lot of complaints. Hey, we can get 2 teams out of the Big 12 this year. I mean, look, think about it. BYU runs the table. They play Colorado possibly because Big Noon Kickoff Party has the Boulder 17-ranked Colorado hosting Utah. Colorado controlling their own destiny in the Big 12. It begins at 10 a.m. Eastern on Fox. For a preview of that game, here's Rob Stone and the fellas.
Big noon getting ready to come your way from Boulder ahead of tomorrow's Utah versus 17th-ranked Colorado showdown. The Buffs controlling their own destiny to reach the Big 12 title game and the college football playoffs. Rob, Brady, Mark, Matt, and Coach Meyer back here with you. Beautiful sunny day here in Boulder. And boy, year 2 under Coach Prime has worked out just great. A win tomorrow. They will have doubled last year's win total. And they've done it despite some different objects in their way this season.
Rob, what I love about this team is they've been able to control the noise. They haven't paid attention to the outside noise. Every week, they're in the headlines for the media. Every week, the teams, they want to beat them. They want to hit the Shedeur way. But Coach Prime has his team focused. They have them focused on what matters the most. That's the preparation and practice and putting themselves in best position to go out there and win games on Saturdays. And that's what they've been doing a good job of. So shout out to Coach Prime, keeping this team focused.
Yeah, and they control their own destiny to get to a college football playoff. I think the most impressive part of this team, for me, is the defense. It's the most improved defense in the Big 12. We knew coming into the season, guys, Shedeur Sanders, that offense was going to keep them in games and be competitive. But it's been this side of the ball, B.J. Green, Nakai Hill-Green, obviously Travis Hunter on the outside. They lead the Big 12 in sacks. They're giving up 12 points fewer per game, which is almost 2 touchdowns. That's remarkable. New D.C., Robert Livingston, this new coaching staff has these boys playing well. And again, the offense is playing great. It was up to the defense, and that's why they're in this position.
No doubt about it. Also, because they're stars. I mean, Shedeur Sanders has been phenomenal this season for Colorado. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Making a case, too, for the Heisman. We need to start mentioning his name more in that regard. But also Travis Hunter, the best player in college football. He's doing something we've never seen before. Over 500 snaps this season on defense, over 500 snaps on offense, and doing so both at an elite level. So I cannot wait to see these two guys play here tomorrow, Coach. But talking a lot of Colorado, we're kind of forgetting about your old team here in Utah.
This isn't 2004 anymore,
Are
Coach.
you guys done with the CU Love Fest and Coach Prime? And I get it. I love him too. But remember, they're playing University of Utah, the preseason #1 pick in the Big 12, legendary head coach Kyle Whittingham, and the #1 defense in the Big 12, #1 third down defense in America, and the highest QB pressure rate in the country. The CU offensive line last year was awful. 52 total sacks. They're better this year, but they're still near the bottom. I can promise you, Morgan Scalley, the D coordinator for Utah, is going to die up a bunch of pressures. They blitz a lot. They're going to try to get after the focal point, and that's Shedeur Sanders. So I think this is going to be a street fight. If Utah had a better offense.
Yeah.
Yep. Just a little bit better.
Little.
But they don't.
Well, a lot. I'm trying to sell the game, my friend. Utes 7-game win streak in this series. We're back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Country music star, Georgia superfan Thomas Rhett takes us inside that rivalry against Tennessee. Tom Rinaldi with the remarkable story of a player unlike any other. Plus, Dion and his son share a rare glimpse into their family dynamics.
Should be a good one. Colorado has its most wins and its highest ranking in 8 years. They control their own destiny once again to get to the Big 12 championship game. What's the key to get there, though, Coach?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Matt Leinart here. I really like their defense. I don't think it's about their defense. I really think it's about their offense, continue to improve in the areas that they've been good in.
Mm-hmm.
I think it starts with turnovers. They can't turn the ball over and give the opponent a short field and put their defense to a disadvantage. They've been good at it. The last 7 straight games, they've won the turnover battle every game. They're plus 10 turnovers in those games, so that's a great start. The next thing is sacks, and we know that's been a little bit of Achilles heel for Colorado. They're last in the Big 12 in sacks, but they've only been sacked 5 times in the last 3 games, so we're making progress there. And then I think it's on third downs. They've been middle of the pack, but that's where the really great quarterbacks shine, and that's where you'd like to see Shedeur really take over a game and keep the chains moving on those third downs. And, Mike, they're going to be tested. They were just talking about it, by this Utah defense. This is one of the better defenses in the country. It really is. If they had a little help on offense and could play complementary football, this would be a way different team. But Morgan Scalley, he knows what he's doing on defense. I've gone against that guy a few times, and third downs are a nightmare. They come after you, and the coverages are changes, and they play really, really good. So this is going to be a great test for Colorado. The sacks got to continue to improve, and they got to play third down offense at a high level. If they do those things, they're going to have a great shot to maybe even win the Big 12.
Once again, disappointing season for Utah because of the Cam Rising injury. They lost 5 in a row, but once again, that defense travels. Should be a good one against Colorado tomorrow. We shall see what happens there. Hey, Georgia dropped its 2nd game of the season last week, falling to Ole Miss on the road. Bulldogs are now in danger of missing the college football playoff for a 2nd straight season heading into tomorrow's matchup with Tennessee, a matchup they have dominated over the last 7 meetings here. You see the matchups, Tennessee against Georgia, 7 straight wins for Georgia, all those wins by at least double digits, and you see the total domination there. But Tennessee on a roll, they've won 4 in a row in Georgia. This could be an elimination game for them, so who wins and why?
Mike, when Tennessee beat Alabama, we were kind of in awe of that whole game and going, what was wrong with Alabama? I went back and put that tape on and watched it for an hour and a half. And when I turned that tape off, I thought of one word of Tennessee's defense: nasty.
Nasty, yeah.
That's just the word. I mean, they're athletic, they're smart, they're aggressive. I mean, they got after them. I'm like, these guys are going to be a tough out. James Pierce leads the SEC in pass rushing and pressures on the quarterback. They're number 5 in the country in scoring defense, giving up 12 points a game. They're number 5 in total defense. Really good. And then you couple that, they're the number 1 rush offense in the SEC. You're like, this is a recipe for big-time success, for winning a championship. And then you look at Georgia and Carson Beck and the struggles he's gone through and the turnovers in the last 5 games. You're thinking,
So Tennessee's going to roll in this.
Tennessee's going to roll. But you know what? When I look at this and I analyze this, I'm saying there's no way they're beating Georgia.
Kirby Smart. Tennessee is killing it this season.
Kirby Smart is not going to let 2 in a row happen. Kirby Smart will suit up at linebacker and play himself if he has to. I just don't see Tennessee going into Athens, Georgia, and beating the Bulldogs. They should, and I'm going to be surprised if they do.
They have not lost back-to-back regular season games since 2016. They have not lost 3 in a season since 2018. Kirby ain't playing tomorrow. You do know that, right?
He might
try and get on the field.
Out.
You know, hey, tomorrow night, be sure to catch Cincinnati battling Iowa State. Cyclones looking to end a 2-game skid. That's at 8 Eastern on Fox. And, of course, Sunday it's an NFC North rivalry game. Jordan Love and the Packers take on Caleb Williams and the Bears, or the Seahawks battle the Niners, or other regional action. Make sure you check your local listings for the game in your area Sunday on Fox.
Beautiful night among the Saguaro in Tucson. Arizona hasn't had a halftime lead since September, but they do right now. 10-3 Wildcats over the Cougars here at the break, thanks to this man. Tet McMillan, as Noah Fafita found him for a long touchdown on the free play, goes up and brings it in. Heck of a grab right there for McMillan. 40th career touchdown pass for Fafita. Nearly had this one as well, as McMillan has been all over the field tonight. But what sent us into the half, Tyler Loop, the longest field goal make in Arizona history, 62 yards, as Brent Brennan fired up as the Wildcats lead by a score here at halftime. 10-3 Arizona. Plenty more coming up. Well, the second half when we come back here on FS1.
Second to the benzo. You're not even
a grind in the first half. Tyler Loop, though, making a statement with a 62-yarder, set an Arizona record to give the Wildcats a touchdown lead. Here's we get set for the start of the second half. You can see the offense, especially for Houston at this point. They've had some opportunities where they've tried to march down the field. It's just been tough for the Cougars to punch it in.
Yeah, Houston's really been the more consistent team offensively in a game where both offenses are struggling. They've had their run game going. But the 3-4 biggest highlights of the first half were 2 incompletions by Tetairoa McMillan, 1 completion for a touchdown by McMillan, and a 62-yard field goal from that guy, Tyler Loop. And the word on the street is, in the warm-ups, he hit 75-yarders. 62, nothing for him, and it looked good the whole way.
Yeah, it had plenty of leg, and I'm sure there's a little adrenaline on this kick right there. He was trying to send that one through the uprights as well, as Houston won the opening toss, deferred to the second half, so they have the ball here to begin this second half. And, you know, this Houston offense, led by Zion Chris, last week was so efficient. It was 11 of 11 against Kansas State. This game, not exactly the same percentage, and, you know, the turnover was an issue as well. Houston's got to protect.
The pick was bad. But other than that, he's played within himself and done what they've asked him to do. The interception, where it looked like he was kind of trying to throw it away, just didn't have enough arm on it. We'll see how much they let him throw in the second half.
Trying to get some Muse on a wide receiver sweep, but initial contact there from Dalton Johnson in the backfield. Loss of 3.
Good job by Dalton Johnson. We talked about losing their safeties and DBs, Stukes, Maldonado, the great linebacker Manu, and they've had so many guys playing out of position, but it feels like in this game they're starting to kind of feel themselves and step up a little bit.
Johnson has forced a couple of fumbles already this year. Had a key forced fumble in the Alamo Bowl that beat Oklahoma a season ago. It's a career-high 13 tackle game for him as well. Rolling out to the right is Chris, who's able to get it over to Muse for a short gain. Well, I guess not that short. Got 8 yards, but it's going to be short of the marker. 3rd and 5 coming.
Good pressure from the Wildcats. Dominic Lolesio out of Long Beach forces the throw, but a good job. Second time that Chris has been able to get it to Muse on the run to create a better situation.
Houston really has had a tough time on 3rd down tonight and this season. There comes the pressure in the backfield. Chris gets away, still on his feet, just trying to throw it to somebody. Muse is in the neighborhood. 4th down coming. Trey Smith was the one closing in, and Chris just threw him off himself.
Yeah, he threw him 10 yards back. Chris keeps his feet. You see Smith coming there on the blitz, coming right through the A-gap, totally untouched, but he can't get Chris down, but pushes him way back, and Chris wisely gets rid of that ball. Still in the tackle box, but got it past the line of scrimmage.
Smith, who came with Brennan from San Jose State, was a key player in the Mountain West a year ago. Chris did a good job just keeping it alive, and it's going to set up a much better situation here on the kick return and closing speed. Big time right there for Houston's offense, Houston defense rather, as that was a tackle, a 1-yard gain. Trell McCutcheon, and you know, just so many coaching moves a year ago, and you follow the tree. It starts with Kalen DeBoer leaving Washington to go to Alabama following Nick Saban's retirement. They have 2 losses already this year. Then you go to Washington, where Jedd Fisch, 5-5.
It's a lot different from last year at Washington, and a whole different football team. And not everybody's super pleased in Seattle. You got DeBoer living week to week, and Brent Brennan is suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune here in Tucson with 6 losses. 3 good coaches.
3 good coaches, not a whole lot of smiles.
No.
On that slideshow right there. Fafita's attempt to McMillan's incomplete.
He's been a little errant in this game. He's been high throwing the ball, and this one is a little bit behind McMillan there. Yeah, he's got a heck of a catch radius. If he can't come up with it, nobody can.
McMillan's been targeted 9 times tonight, has just 3 receptions. One of them was a touchdown, 43 yards for McMillan. Yes, he's dropped a couple, but there have been some others that he's done all he could, just couldn't bring it in, but can bring this one in as he goes up for it and gains 9 as Wilson was on top of him. Doesn't matter for McMillan.
Right, it doesn't matter. Jeremiah Wilson doing everything right. Driving on that slant route, getting on the body of McMillan. He's just too big. Ball again a little high, but no problem that time. What will they do on 3rd and 1? Empty backfield.
Man in motion's Patterson, looking right side, pump fake, keeps it himself, and that is a 1st down for Noah Fafita.
It looked like they were trying to run a middle screen to the left side, but Fafita turns to the right, and nothing's over there. Just decides to do it himself and is able just to get that 1st down. 1st down's coming at a premium right now for Brent Brennan's offense. Been that kind of year.
Carlos Allen was closing in, and on the pump fake, he went up to knock it down, and then maybe created just enough space for Fafita to slide up and pick up the 2 yards. Handoff here to Conley over on the right side, sheds 1 tackler, now able to dance on that right sideline and get a long gain of 19 yards for the Wildcats.
They need more and more of that. A.J. Halsey is the guy whose tackle he ran out of. Halsey, very sure tackling safety, wearing number 2, and there he is. Big straight arm right to the chin from Conley.
Fifita throws this one away. Coverage there is all over McMillan and company.
They've been able to eke out first downs here and there, looking like they're going to get that offensive machine going and start the motor, and then it inevitably starts to sputter again. It's just been that kind of year, that kind of night. We'll see if Fifita can gain more consistency as the evening continues here in the desert.
Side Cougar territory. Over the middle is triple coverage, and McMillan comes up with it anyway. Fifita found maybe the one place he could throw it without trouble, and McMillan held on for 12.
You see Fifita in the slot. When they get him in the slot, they can work him against some safeties and linebackers like Jamal Morris there. Well-designed positioning of their best player, and it leads to another first down for the Wildcats.
Not much of a window, but he got it through. Here's Fifita. All kinds of time. Now pump fakes once, twice, throws it away.
It feels like with the long run and a couple of plays to McMillan here, the Arizona offense has found a little bit more of a rhythm. What we've been talking about throughout the evening. Incomplete passes aren't bad as long as they're done on time. And the quarterback understands what could come next situationally for 2nd down and 10 with the new play caller, Matt Atkins.
Fifita at the bottom of the screen all the way to the left side. Hunter's going to come over and join him. Now the man in motion is Sam Olsen. So everybody on the left. It's a handoff to Risano to the right, and he's taken down by Anthony Holmes Jr.
Anthony Holmes Jr. been very active in the backfield, really coming on the last couple of weeks, improving his game. Big TFL there, creating a 3rd and long situation where you really have to wonder how will Houston cover McMillan and how will Arizona try to get him open? And will Fifita have enough time to do that?
McMillan, 5 catches, 64 yards, has moved to 3rd all-time in Arizona history, and this time a completion to Chris Hunter for a first down on 3rd and long, 18 yards in that game, and a strike from Fifita.
They bunch the receivers up. Hunter's all the way out there on the edge. Been playing pretty well out of New Orleans and just runs kind of a look route. Jeremiah Wilson worried too much about where McMillan is to check him twice. Good throw, too. Fifita's been sharper on this drive.
Now it's Hunter in motion. Fifita rolling to his right, steps up, looks right side, got his man Conley. Conley to the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
Arizona's offense comes out and bears down here in the 3rd quarter. It looks like Hershey McLaurin or whoever was responsible for Conley just never got out there. Could have been Jamal Morris. Everybody staring at Fifita and wondering whether or not he was going to run the ball. Gets it out to the running back late and still nobody there. Conley walks into the end zone.
8th touchdown on the year, 1st receiving touchdown of the season as Quali Conley, the senior from Fresno, came with Brennan from San Jose State and just punched it in. Arizona up 2 scores. All right, let's take a look at the fan cam sponsored by Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? Try and decide. They're having a good time in Tucson tonight.
Oh, they love it in the zoo, the bear down types.
Christmas coming early.
Little early for my taste. Now there's one thing to have hair height, which is popular, but the negative sideburns there make that a very offensive haircut. And I think he's serious. I think he's serious about that.
I think I'm going to take that to my barber next time and see if we can get that set up.
No more on cameras for you.
We're going to say, who needs a coat and tie when you got hair like that? 17-3, Arizona up by 2 scores. I mentioned this at halftime, but I want to mention it again because I think it's worth repeating. Arizona has not led at halftime since September. And now here they are trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. They had a bunch of adversity early. Now it feels like the Wildcats, a little bit of momentum on their side here early on in this third quarter as Houston is trying to turn that around here. Zeon Chris looking over the middle, and that's going to be a completion to Stephon Johnson, who's still going. Johnson eventually taken down by Marquise Groves-Killebrew, but after 17 yards.
Good timing here and a really nice little slant route there from Johnson, well delivered by Chris. And speaking to your point about Arizona, it's finally they're playing a little bit of complimentary football for the first time in a month or so, finding themselves in a position to control a game, though nice first down from the Cougars there to start out.
Hand off to DJ Butler. Check down, it was Chris who kept himself on the play fake, so gains 4. The other part, too, it's not just Fafita and McMillan. Olsen had a big catch. Hunters made 4. Conley just found himself into the end zone, and now Dwayne Aquina trying to keep the momentum on the Wildcat side with his defense and stop this man, Zeon Chris. Chris with time. Takes a shot downfield, broken up in coverage. Good job on that play by Jack Luttrell.
Yeah, he comes in the middle safety, does a great job of just jumping up and slapping that ball away. A little bit too much air under that ball from Zeon Chris. I think had he thrown it more on a line to his tight end Malik Carr, that Luttrell wouldn't have had as much of a shot at it. And another third down and manageable. See what Houston does.
So a late substitution, and Arizona is going to have to call a timeout here.
Arizona.
As they were trying to get the right personnel on the field here on this third down situation. So Willie Fritz trying to outduel Brent Brennan here in this Big 12 matchup. What a year it has been in the Big 12 Conference. My goodness, BYU has been sensational, and they have been clutch, able to get out of some tough situations. Stayed undefeated by avoiding that upset. The Holy War.
Yeah,
last week.
Both those teams very much improved. BYU, even though Utah played their best game of the year in a loss in the Holy War that you just mentioned. The Colorado Buffaloes, so impressive what Coach Prime has done with the defensive line. They've really gotten after people as far as creating chaos in another team's backfield. It's not just Shedeur running around throwing it to Travis Hunter. They've developed a whole receiving core. They are dangerous down the stretch.
See if the Big 12 can get 2 teams into the college football playoff as well. This is to Joseph Manjack IV, who gains 3.
Not enough.
And that's going to be shy.
Manjack, one of those receivers they like to get going, is Dwayne Aquina calling in for the punt safe return team. All these receivers have had to pick their spots a little bit more. 25 straight games with the reception for Manjack, but everybody's production is down because they're just not throwing it as much.
Patterson back to return. This is going to be a fake, and the pass to the right side, a completion to Stephon Johnson.
Oh, they say incomplete.
Or they'll say it hit the turf first. Boy, they want to review this one. Johnson looked like he had it. He believes he did. Arizona feels otherwise. And that's going to be ruled an incompletion on the field, despite a pretty good play.
Well, they throw it out there. Does he have the arm strength to get it out there? Stephon Johnson looks like, from that shot that he had both hands under, and that one, maybe it looks like the ball came through there and the nose hit the ground. Look at the officials right on top of that play, and he called an incompletion on the field.
This play is under review.
They're going to review this.
Yeah, that's going to be tight, but going to be hard to overturn maybe.
Liam Doherty is normally the punter for Houston. He wears number 91. They sent out number 19, Holman Edwards, who is a backup quarterback.
Very difficult for the dyslexic.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And underthrew Johnson a little bit. Did he get his hands underneath? Boy, it's tough to see.
It is tough to see because the ball is dark and the gloves are dark that he's wearing. But that shot, I mean, it really looks like both hands are under the ball. If anything could be overturned here, it feels like this would be a catch if they called a catch on the field. And it might be a catch as far as being overturned as well.
Incomplete on the field.
He was right there, though. I mean, he was right there to make the call.
And this could be a really big momentum swing here in this game. If Arizona gets the ball back here, that's a huge stop.
An incomplete pass stands as called.
How about that? So they didn't confirm it. They just said it stands.
All right, so Arizona getting the ball back. The fourth down fake doesn't work out. So Wildcats by 2 scores. They're enjoying some sweet music in Tucson right now. Arizona 17-3 lead over the visiting Houston Cougars. T-Mac they call him. Terrell McMullen, one of the star players in all of college football, maybe the best receiver in college football. And Arizona is going to begin this drive in Houston territory after a fake punt didn't pan out. McMillan going to flip it back to Fafita, now to Hunter. Hunter now has a seam, and Hunter's off to the races. He'll be pushed out of the 32-yard line, but a little trickery pans out for Arizona.
We see this trickery these days, and this is the second time in this game. The first time Houston did it, moving people all around to throw the ball short. You're moving people all around, usually to sneak somebody behind the defense and try to throw it deep. They do it to try to throw it short, confuse the defense. Everybody's running back and forth, get some offensive linemen out there and create a little bit of a convoy, and they did that well with Hunter.
5th reception tonight for Hunter. Now here's Fafita trying to step up in the pocket. Got sacked 3 times in the first quarter, and now gets taken down here midway in the third. It was Keith Cooper along with Hershey McLaurin there for the sack.
Yeah, they bring a little pressure to try to stem the tide of momentum. McLaurin comes from the outside and gets away from the block of Quali Conley. Sacks have been a huge problem for Arizona and Fafita. Part of it, the offensive line, part of it, holding the ball too much and trying to make too much happen. But that can really stem your momentum.
2nd and 18 now. Fafita off his back foot, converts it to McMillan. He's going to end up out of bounds. Short gain. Still going to be 3rd and long coming up after he got 6.
Late pressure coming on there. Very violent, almost into the face of Fafita. And he just gets rid of that ball with a blocker of his flying back into his face. You're going to see it come right there. Cooper just running over the tight end and getting to the chest of Fafita.
Houston really strong up front. They're 23rd in the nation in total defense coming into this game. Their defense has been their strong suit. Fafita has to get rid of it, does in time, but it's going to end up out of bounds. So
good blitz dialed up there by Shea Wood, Trent, and that's what forced Fafita to get rid of that ball. Kind of a late arriving blitz, but nobody open despite the fact that they brought 5-6 guys.
Well, Houston kind of known for bringing, those corner blitzes and they bring guys off the outside late, like you talked about right there, a perfect example.
Yeah, they're doing that, and they're running loops and games on the inside. But an opportunity for Loop to come out and show off that leg again, as Arizona's been moving the ball pretty well.
He hit from 62 earlier, this one from 51, so this is basically a chip shot for Loop. Loop, plenty of leg on this one, right down the middle. Converts another field goal of more than 50 yards, and now Arizona has a 3-score lead. 20-3. Tyler Loop filling up the highlight reel with 6:15 to go in the third. Well, the leg of Tyler Loop has been a difference maker for Arizona tonight. 62-yarder he made to end the first half. Is the longest in school history. Just made a 51-yarder. And another
He's been dancing the whole time.
Yeah, he's enjoying it, and it was adrenaline early. Now he's just feeling the crowd. Also set another program record in the sense that no Arizona player has ever made 2 of more than 50 yards before tonight. Tyler Loop has done just that.
Like we mentioned, a lot of the Tucson Media Corps, the Cactus Hordes, they're known as, watch this guy kick 75-yarders in warm-ups all the time. He's got that kind of leg, but you kick 62 when it's a live, real game, you're going to get a lot of attention, not just from us, but from the next level as well.
Probably feels like he should have had one more, too. Remember, there was the bad snap on one try. Regardless, 20-3, Arizona leading Houston. Big boot right there goes through the back of the end zone. As Arizona, first 6 possessions, they had the 4 punts, the touchdown. Bad snap. Now they've scored in their last 3 drives. Hey, NFL knowledge from those who've been there. The facility breaks down the NFL from the player's perspective. Joining LaShawn McCoy, James Jones, Chase Daniel, and Emmanuel Ocho every weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern on FS1. I enjoy the facility. It's a lot of football talk. They had a great breakdown, I found, of Caleb Williams earlier this week.
I tried to get in one time, but the door was locked. You know, like that meme. My fob didn't work.
It's all right. We have tonight to break down Houston and Arizona. And that's going to be a handoff over to Rashawn Sanford II. Gain of 3 yards. But the Houston miscues, we were just seeing on the screen a moment ago, a big issue for them tonight. You almost saw this right out of the gate for Houston. They've had a really tough time just playing clean football tonight.
Arizona, similar in the first half. They were pretty herky-jerky themselves. A bad pick, though, from Zion Chris. And other than that, just Arizona's been playing pretty well on defense, limited opportunities.
That was Davis closing in, and just getting rid of it was Chris. Was able to find Sanford back at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Second tackle there by Tay Brown, young man out of Chandler, Arizona. Second tackle on this drive. Some pressure on Chris coming from Davis, the corner. So Akina not just sitting back in base defense right now, trying to force Houston off the field and get some real momentum going for the Cats. 3rd and 7.
Arizona trying to give Houston a little taste of their own medicine. That last defensive scheme. 3rd and 7 here. Chris, all kinds of time. Now the pressure's on. Held on to it too long and a sack. Closing in and throwing him down. Marquise Groves-Killebrew. And a flag afterwards.
A great job by Groves-Killebrew just to commit. Kind of a green dog situation, we call that, where you're sort of in no man's land and the quarterback doesn't know if you're coming or staying. And he just took off a beeline right for the chest of Chris.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 66. After distance to the goal, 4th down.
Peyton Dunn there, the left guard. Maybe trying to protect his quarterback in this situation. Now you're going to see Groves-Killebrew, just kind of waiting there and just takes off, making a decision, not falling for anything, and gets home.
Groves-Killebrew played 4 games with Louisville last year, began his career at Texas A&M, making an impact in Tucson. Fair catch called right at midfield, where Arizona will take over when we come back. But Marquise Groves-Killebrew comes flying in and enjoying the sack. Oh, they are really enjoying this Friday night in Tucson. Student section getting into it.
It's Movember.
Rocking out to a little Kelly Clarkson.
A lovely lady.
Were any of the students around when she won American Idol a long time ago? 20-3, Arizona. It's been a long time since they won a game. They dropped 5 in a row coming into this one.
Not that long.
No, not that long. Handoff here is going to go to Conley, and Conley's got to see him. There goes Conley, trying to get his 2nd score of the night. Yes, he does. 50 yards.
Arizona opening up a lead and starting to get comfortable here at home. A gap scheme type of run called by Matt Atkins. They pull 2 people around for Conley to get up underneath, and he runs it really well. Great design run play and well executed by the Cats.
Had a 58-yarder earlier this year, but that one, half a century right there. 50 yards as Conley shot the gap and was off the races.
Yeah, there was just only one chance there from Kentrell Webb to make that tackle, but you see the O-lineman and the tight end coming around. And a very nice finish by Conley. And a lot of excitement and good feelings on that Arizona sideline. And why not? Like you said, 5-game skid is a terrible thing to go through, especially with the amount of expectations there were on Arizona. And even Wilbur can go out there and do the worm, the backwards worm. Hat stays on. Hat stays on. Where's Wilma, though, Wilbur? Is she at the basketball game? You know, Wilbur's one of those mascots that has a counterpart.
Yes, yes.
Like Joe and Josephine Bruin. You know, so where's Wilma? I see him dancing around out there at the club, and I wonder, where is she?
I think Wilma's probably just in the neighborhood watching. Maybe
I don't know. I mean, usually she's out there.
We didn't see her this time, but Arizona enjoying one of their best nights, really, of this entire season. And you think about this Arizona team that had dropped 5 in a row. They go into the bye. They got smacked at UCF. I mean, they lost that game 56-12. And you have 2 choices. The final 3 games. You pack it in and say, well, it's a lost season, or you say, hey, let's try to win the 3 more games, become bowl eligible, keep fighting, and we're seeing this Arizona team maybe playing some of the most motivated football of the season.
And Houston's not helpless. They're a physical team that can run and win games. They just beat a ranked, very good Kansas State team with a great quarterback in Avery Johnson. That man, Zion Chris, was 11 for 11 in that game. But they are struggling here in the desert.
Chris had won 3 of 4 since he got the starting job, but tonight has not been his night, though he's trying to fight for some extra yards there. Gets 9.5. Is going to end up being probably just shy of the mark.
Ta'afo'ou kind of went flying after him at the end there, but didn't get him down. He was able to stay up and still kind of staggering around. I might get down a little faster in that contact zone before the wave comes and hits me if I'm Zion Chris. Got to watch out for the second wave.
Sanford to his left. Able to find the tailback. Brought out of bounds by Owen Goss.
He's had a good game. Owen Goss made a big play to turn him over on downs on the goal line. Batted some balls down, making tackles. Flying around from the cornerback position between him and Davis. That's one spot that they really haven't struggled too much on the perimeter.
Goss has had a good year. He's forced 3 fumbles, second most in the Big 12.
Transfer out of Colgate, like Rob Stone.
Chris with the keeper. Chris trying to show that speed, and a nice tackle by Jack Luttrell after 22 yards. That could have been more.
Yeah, nice job by the Tennessee transfer running him down. You see how fast Chris is, and he almost outran that angle.
10-yard penalty.
But a holding penalty, the late flag there, makes it all for naught. Now your quarterback's huffing and puffing, and you don't get the yards out of him.
Yeah, the Cougars finally able to get something going here in the second half, and then it ends up coming back. Let's see if we can find the hold. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, it was that Malik Carr. Out there on the edge, it's hard to hide.
Shamar Hubdy-Lee. 1st and 14 after the holding. Hand off to Sanford. He's trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, the other part, too, for Houston, a team that much prefers to run the ball. That's their strength. I know they want to be 50-50, but their strength is the run game. down by 24 points, they have to go to the air.
A little bit, but you don't want to go to the air so much to where you create more mistakes and bad things happen. Their throwing game is going to be based for Coach Fritz off of their run and a lot off the quarterback runs. Now, they could call some RPOs here, but you can't just drop Chris back and explode with the football out of his arms. He's not that kind of player.
Stays on his feet here and gets tripped up. Closing in was Stanley Taufua. 3rd and 9 coming after the 5-yard gain. Cougars have converted just 1 third down. You can see on average 7 yards to go at least. This one's going to be a 3rd and 9.
Kind of a lost third quarter for them. It sort of got out of their grip in a very strange way.
Over the middle, and there goes Genesis Smith for the tackle, but hanging on was Stephon Johnson.
Well done by Chris. Arizona drops extra guys into coverage to try to confuse him, but he does exactly what he's supposed to do, hangs in the pocket, and now they got some tempo going.
Chris working quickly, goes back over the top, ducked away. Marquise Groves-Killebrew is having quite the night, but it looks like might get hit with a penalty here.
Yeah, he might have used the arm to kind of propel himself off of the receiver.
Defense number 20. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Looked like he was making a play on the ball. But here he is against Johnson. He's got a hold of him there. Yeah, he got a little hold of him.
Used him, like you said, kind of as that launching pad to get up.
But I'd be okay if they kept the flag in their pocket there because he made a play on the ball. And his head was looking at the ball. There's always a little hand fighting and grabbing.
Meanwhile, Houston converts the 3rd down and now gets a pass interference. So Zeon Chriss trying to lead a Cougar drive, see if they can get 6 out of this. Snead next to him in the backfield. Pressure is on from Arizona. Chriss rolling to his right, gets rid of it, but incomplete. Was trying to get it to the tailback Snead, but he couldn't hang on.
Yeah, Snead, who we haven't seen much because of Sanford being the hot player. 2 fumbles from the freshman Burnett, and we haven't seen him. A little bit of DJ Butler, but here's Stacy Snead out of Arlington. That ball was behind him, but still had an opportunity to come up with it. Just tough sledding and not a lot of consistency for this Cougar O.
8th play of the drive coming up for the Cougs. Snead to the left of Chriss. Looking for Snead. Over the top, led him too far.
Had him too. Snead was open, just did not. It's the second time he's put a little too much air under a ball. That one not as far, just needed to be a little bit more on a line for Snead. He pops it up there like a balloon and expects Snead to run under it. And not only was he not going to run under it, if he did, he was going to get destroyed by Groves-Killebrew.
We've seen Chriss at times this season have some pretty nice touch. That one just a little too far. Here comes another long 3rd down situation, 3rd and 10. Sanford's a 3rd down back. Keeper for Chriss. Arizona read it all the way. The Wildcats were on it, and 4th down's coming up. Jack Luttrell finding his way through on that seam and got the tackle in the backfield.
Yeah, look at him right there in the B gap. Young man out of Georgia. Just a redshirt freshman, but a transfer. Played last year at Tennessee. Between him and Goss. Old guy playing well and a young guy playing well. Both transfers. They're going for it, though.
So 4th and 10, not a lot of options for Houston. They have to go for it. Over the middle, broken up, and Arizona forces another turnover on downs.
They've had some success throwing it over the middle on third downs, fourth down situations to Stephon Johnson. That time they tried again, but Genesis Smith, who's played very well, playing out of position, but back at safety here, and comes in front and makes that play before Johnson could make it. Makes a good play on the ball.
Tay Brown, the weak side linebacker as well, was up to apply some pressure on that one. Has really had a breakout season. And on 4th and long, Arizona gets a stop. And it's just been going all Wildcats really since halftime. But
the
momentum
62-yarder.
Yeah, Loop.
Yeah, that's what got him going, the momentum of the kick.
Over to Hunter. Trying to use it like a screen as Sam Olsen had the block. So a gain of 5 is going to take us into the break. Arizona has scored on their last 4 possessions. They'll try to make it 5. When we come back, Arizona making a statement to start this second half. It was a touchdown game at halftime, and now the Wildcats are up 24.
Some more, it rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. I came, I saw, I praised the Lord.
The Wildcats' 24-point cushion, matching their largest lead of the season. 27-3 the score right now. There's Wilbur. You were looking for him.
Wilbur.
Where's Wilbur? We got to find him. I got a feeling we are going to find him. Here is Arizona. Noah Fafita trying to get it over to Risano, but it goes incomplete on the 2nd and 5. So 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Great teachable moment here for Coach Brennan and this team that struggled so much to finish this game. You look at the last 4 possessions and what they've done, scoring and being more efficient, creating some big plays, creating confidence for this patchwork offensive line. Can they finish this game in a clean way? Or is it going to be a very difficult, rough road to run out this clock?
Fafita with the pressure on, able to find his outlet. There's the tight end, Tyler Powell, making that reception. That's going to be a first down. 6-yard gain.
Tyler Powell playing a little bit. They have 3 tight ends. Powell coming open there. They've also used him in a few different blocking situations, coming around, pulling. But a nice play as you hear the Wildcat growl for the first down here in Tucson.
Now the 6'7" Phoenix native. That last reception. Handoff to Conley, who broke up a 50-yard touchdown run earlier. Gained 7 yards on that play. Petros, I think about this matchup coming in. You had 2 teams that couldn't be going in more different directions. Arizona had lost 5 in a row. Houston had won 3 of 4 back-to-back games, just upset Kansas State. This was a touchdown game at halftime, and it's totally gone the other way.
I think it speaks to the parity in the Big 12. You see Houston just beat Kansas State, who's an excellent football team. UCF, who struggled this year, put 50 up on this Arizona team. Very hard to predict.
Completed over the right side for Jeremiah Patterson. 9-yard gain and a first.
JC transfer, young guy out of San Francisco, California. They've targeted him a couple times in this game, came in with 18 receptions, and I think they've done a good job of targeting people other than McMillan as the game has gone on. That's something Coach Brennan was really emphasizing. We've seen Chris Hunter, for the most part, be the recipient of the non-McMillan impactful plays.
McMillan and Hunter have the same number of receptions tonight with 6, and that's going to be a swing pass over to Patterson on the left side. He takes the hit, gains 4 yards after Corey Platt Jr. came up.
And that's another thing Arizona can do here with a lead and Coach Brennan. Find other guys to touch the ball, get confidence, distribute it a little bit, maybe force the ball to a couple guys that you want to see how they will react. You don't have the desperate situation where you have to get it to McMillan on a 3rd and 15 right now, as they've controlled this second half.
McMillan, 1 of 7 Arizona receivers for the catch tonight. So Fafita's been spread the love. This time, a handoff. He goes to Risano. 6-yard gain. Moves the sticks. And Arizona, it feels like their offense has become mighty efficient in this second half.
And that's exactly what Coach Brennan was talking about, having to play a clean game. Some of their problems have reared their head. There's a sacks on Fafita. Fafita holding the ball a little bit too long, but none of their problems have held them down throughout the game. They've been able to overcome adversity that they created and the adversity that Houston's been creating.
Fafita, dangerous passes picked off. The first interception of the night for Fafita. We talk about the efficiency. Well, Hershey McLaurin comes up and turns that around. So Fafita's pick. Cougars getting it back. Trying to climb back. Big old mountain to climb, though. But Fafita turns it over. Houston getting the ball. You get the turnover, you get the chain on the sideline, and that's where Hershey McLaurin's doing right now. The senior from Friendship, Massachusetts, a transfer from West Virginia. His team is down, but he did get the pick to get Houston the ball back.
And it's a great play by Jeremiah Wilson, knocking it out. He's been playing very aggressive all game out there on the perimeter. Caused a turnover here. Let's see what Houston can do.
Chris on a keeper is met in the backfield, and now all of a sudden the pressure is coming from Owen Goss and company. As Arizona returning the favor to Houston, it was the Cougars in the Wildcat backfield earlier, and now the tide has turned.
Here comes Goss all the way from the edge there, number 27. Nobody picks him up, and Chris kind of hesitates. Goss, a high school wrestler, did a pretty good job getting people on the ground tonight.
2nd and 12. Chris sees that pocket collapse and gets taken down again in the backfield for a loss of 6. This one from Trey Smith.
Trey Smith, the guy that generated a lot of pressure early in the year and sort of has petered out. Big sack there. At a Red Mountain High School in Mesa, Arizona, one of those guys that came over from San Jose with Brent Brennan.
So even after the turnover, the Arizona defense is just picking on the front of the Cougars right now, but we do have an injured player on the field. We'll sort things out when we come back. Arizona, 27-3. You know, we're always looking for the hardest working player, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Genesee Smith has been working hard tonight for this Arizona defense.
Just a sophomore playing the star safety position, but around the line of scrimmage, making tackles. This guy is going to be a star. We've seen him make special teams plays, that time with the scoop of the fumble. Nice performance by Dwayne Aquina's whole group tonight, making a real recovery.
3rd and 18. Chris is going to keep it and will slide down well short of the marker.
Tackled by the official. The official was the obstruction there. Chris could not find his way around him.
So 4th and 12 coming up. I don't know who should I talk to? Genesee Smith's had a great game. He deserves hardest working player. Where's some Tyler Luplo, the kicker, 62-yarder, made a 50-yarder.
A very heated argument during the break on who was going to get that.
Patterson back to return. Will fielded about the 31-yard line for Arizona. Less than 10 minutes to go in this game. Arizona trying to snap their 5-game skid. They're up 27-3. Big day in college football coming up tomorrow. Our Saturday spotlight. Of course, big noon kickoff in Boulder, Utah at number 17, Colorado. Arizona State taking on K-State as they look to bounce back after they lost to Houston. And we got Tennessee at Georgia late night tomorrow. So very busy day in college football, and you just kind of feel like we're mid-November.
I'm not going to say anything.
Intensity ratchets up.
You got the Sun Devils in the middle. We're doing an Arizona game. It's a very heated rivalry with a lot of flaming hatred between both teams.
I'll be sure not to check X after mentioning Arizona State.
Sun Devils get a win last week without Cam Scadaboo, and he's back, been practicing all week. One of the great running backs in the Big 12. But Conley's been pretty good tonight, hasn't he? Put on a pretty good show as far as Big 12 running backs go.
8 carries, 94 yards, averaging just under a dozen per touch. Had the 50-yarder that he broke off in the third quarter as well that really broke this game open.
They found some other weapons other than T-Mac, haven't they?
Back to Conley, who bounces off of a defender and was still able to get positive yards on a play that should have been a loss.
Yeah, that's what you need late in the game when you're trying to run clock. Good push by Carlos Allen, the nose guard. And he knocks Conley back, but not out, creating a third down situation and keeping that clock moving. We talked about how they wanted to have a clean finish to this game and find a way to end the game without making it too much of an issue down the stretch as they've controlled the second half. The interception, not great in that regard, but they got the stop.
It's Olsen in motion, the tight end. Handoff goes to Conley, who has the first down and drags a defender. A.J. Halsey on the tackle, but a 6-yard pickup and a first for Arizona.
And Arizona's run the ball enough tonight and made Conley enough of a threat to where he feels warm and Brent Brennan feels trusting that he can finish the game carrying the ball and run clock. Another first down, and Arizona really working that 4-minute drill, even though there's under 8 minutes left.
And got Conley over the century mark. 101 yards for him on the night.
Bear down.
Right back to Conley. Check that. That was Kendrick Riano. And Risano gains 3 yards.
And that's really the two backs that they've gone to war with throughout the year. They had Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who was a really intense, violent runner from New Mexico, but he's not played since the first game because of some eligibility issues. So it's been Risano and Conley. And they've been enough tonight, more than enough.
Especially with the night that Conley has had. Over 100 yards, 2nd and 7 here. Risano breaks a tackle, is trying to stay up and approach midfield, gains a couple.
But Houston's still playing hard. This is a team with an identity. Michael Batten right there, flying at Conley, can't make it, but then the second tackler gets to his feet.
And they still need to win 2 more games to be bowl eligible. I'm sure they were thinking this game coming in tonight with Arizona having lost 5 in a row, probably saw this as an opportunity. It just hasn't been their night. Houston will play Baylor at home next week, but then they go to BYU to close out the season. So they'll have to, in all likelihood, win both of those games to be bowl eligible as Fafita gets sacked for the 5th time in this game. Brandon Mack gets credit for that one in a loss of 8.
Violent sack from Mack. Transfer from Ole Miss, wearing the number 4. See him on the edge working against Joey Capra, who started this game, and there was a lot of questions as to who was going to start at right tackle and how Arizona was going to protect that position. And he gets beat there by Brandon Mack, and Fafita takes a pretty rough hit. Fafita has not come out all year other than any kind of garbage time or in a blowout one way or another. Fafita, one of the toughest guys out there. Can take a lot of sacks, it seems.
Well, he took 3 in the first quarter. And one thing Arizona, up until that last one, had done a pretty good job of. Yes, he was sacked 1 time in the third, but other than that, the Arizona offensive line, after a miserable start, I thought really stepped things up in the 2nd and 3rd.
They have, and on these last couple drives, they've been able to get a first down or 2 and run some clock, but the sack to force a 4th down and the pick, 2 in a row, going to be something they want to address. And Houston, defensively, trying their best to give the ball back to their offense, but just nothing doing there offensively ever since the goal line stand from Arizona in the first half.
Well, the Arizona defense has done an excellent job on a Houston offense that has gained just 250 yards on the night. The Cougars And a deep hole trying to climb out of it when we come back. Petros, I told you our crew was going to find Wilmer.
Look at that. Now that's a lady. Class.
Yeah, Wilbur dancing on one side, Wilma there.
I don't like how they're dancing apart. You know, whatever happened to the, little ballroom dancing, something together.
That's very classy on a Friday night in Tucson. We want to see maybe some
play some
ballroom
Motley
action.
Crue, play slow dance. Get a ballad.
It's going to be a handoff to Sanford here, just trying to get back to that line of scrimmage. Ends up gaining a yard on the play. Inside 6 minutes to go.
I don't like how they're separated on the field. You know, I like when they're holding hands and skipping around and showing unity. That's what Arizona football needs right now. Unity.
Trying to hold it together are the Wildcats. They've done a good job of it tonight. We'll go to TCU next week and then finish the year. The rivalry game with what they say is the school up north. Arizona State, long pass downfield, caught. Joseph Manjack. Long gain right there. 57 yards to Manjack, second reception.
Some life from the Houston offense. Groves Killebrew finds himself a little bit behind Manjack. And a nice throw dropped in beautifully by Chris.
Manjack should have had a touchdown against Kansas State, but they marked him down at the 1. And then there's Muse, who gains a yard on that reception.
Another tackle by Tay Brown, second leading tackler on the team as Chris is trying to run this thing fast. All of these situational moments for both of these teams are learning opportunities with new coaching staffs.
Chris with time. Across the middle, finds his running back, Sanford, who's still going. Now the ball comes loose and gets picked up. Owen Goss was there. And another turnover. Arizona's getting it back. The third giveaway for the Cougars tonight.
Yeah, that ball came flying out of the arms of Sanford. Let's take a look at how long he had it. He's running just a little, well, he runs a Texas route, which is kind of a curl over the middle. How long did he have it? The ball just knocked right out of his arms.
Dalton Johnson.
Yeah, Dalton Johnson came in there and got it.
That's his third forced fumble of the season. Back-to-back games with a forced fumble for Johnson.
And Johnson, one of those guys that has created a lot of energy in the secondary as you see the turnover cactus spear. Now, you know, when you steal, Houston owns that ball. That's their game ball. So you take the ball and you stick it through a metal thing. You're going to owe Houston $60. They're gonna, seriously, you got to pay for that.
I think Houston's going to have to send an invoice.
Yeah, you do.
That's going to happen.
I've always wondered about that.
Conley. He's doing a good job after initial contact as well. Broke a tackle there. Kept going. He's had an outstanding evening.
Conley coming over from San Jose State with Coach Brennan. Really kind of taken over as the running back. Great straight arm there in this game. He's really kind of slowly established himself as the game has gone on. A little bit of a blown coverage there. Walks into the end zone. This was the beautiful play on the gap scheme with the pullers coming around. Gets right underneath them. Takes it right down the middle of the field. Very complete game by the young man.
Couple of scores, 134 total yards. Risano going to be short of the first down. So third down coming up for this Arizona team. And we were talking about the schedule a moment ago. With what's left, at TCU next week, Arizona State the week after that, the Wildcats would have to run the table to make a bowl game, which if you would have said that in September, you'd have thought it was crazy, but that's the situation the Wildcats are in, but doable, feels like, for Brent Brennan's team. I'm sure they feel that way in Tucson.
You see the rushing yards in the comparison. Houston still outrushed Arizona in this game. Mostly because of the sack yards, as Risano tries to get that first down.
They're going to give him 2 yards, and looks like it'll move the sticks. Another first down for this Arizona Wildcat team that, you know, the whole game changed. Tyler Luke made that 62-yarder to close the first half, and then I thought we saw Arizona really make a statement in that third quarter.
And that really is what Coach Brennan's been talking about. They've got to find momentum on one side and let it carry over to the next side. In that case, special teams carried over to the offense and the defense. The team's got to find a way to excite and ignite each other. And that seemed to have happened so far. Jeez, what a hit there on Kendrell Webb. Man. Blew him up.
Yeah, Risano lowers the shoulder, breaks through the tackle, gains 6 yards as we hit the 2-minute timeout here in this fourth quarter. How about this strong run right here from Risano?
I'm here to fill the gap. Nope, no, I'm not.
You know, it's been a tough season for Arizona, but don't tell anybody tonight. They're feeling it in Tucson. 27-3, the Wildcats rolling against a Houston team that's got some real quality wins this year. Wilbur's enjoying it. Wilma maybe not be in the picture, but she's enjoying it as well. I have a feeling.
I have a concern about the separation between the two of them tonight, but they've been playing great football, and in all 3 phases, they've had a lot of positive things to look to. Another good run by Wildcats offense, getting some push.
Risano with that last carry looked like he got right to the line. I think they're going to mark him shy. We'll see.
They like
just short
to leave Quali Conley in there a lot because of his ability to pick up blitz. He understands the system coming from San Jose State. Risano wasn't there in the spring, and sometimes his lack of ability to pick up blitz has kept him out maybe a little bit more than he should be. But they've had good balance with both guys tonight.
Just think about how disappointing things have been for this Arizona team this year to come into this game at 3-6, having dropped 5 straight. So much expectation from an excellent season a year ago. You bring back Fafita, you bring back McMillan, you bring back a lot of your defense. Those defensive players all get hurt really in consecutive weeks. It's been tough for Arizona to get past that. But coming out of the bye, they have really played good football, especially in the second half against this Houston team tonight. And as Risano gets the give, he'll pick up a first down and 7 yards.
They're going to gain a lot of confidence from this. In a game where when you need to run the ball, they're able to run the ball. In a game where you need to keep the quarterback clean, they're able to do that. Not a perfect game. No college football game is. But a lot to be happy about for Brent Brennan tonight in what has become a very adverse, intense situation in Tucson. A year that they really thought locally that they had something special, and it's not panned out that way. Tonight's been a positive, though, and maybe something to build on.
On top of that, this is going to be the most lopsided win for Arizona this season. This is going to be bigger than the win they had against New Mexico, bigger than the win they had against Northern Arizona. But 27-3 as this Houston team, after winning 3 out of 4, is now going to have to beat Baylor and win at BYU to be bowl eligible after falling tonight. This is the 3rd game this season Houston has gone without a touchdown. Got blanked at Cincinnati and against Iowa State, and Arizona hold them 27-3 tonight as a final kneel, and a backflip by Conley. Brent Brennan.
I wonder if that's part of the victory formation.
It's certainly the exclamation point as Conley showing off his acrobatic skills after that last knee.
Did he just decide to do it randomly?
They might have some fun with that on film. Arizona able to enjoy a Friday night W over Houston, 27-3, the final as the Wildcats' 5-game skid is snapped. Arizona gets the win as their bowl dreams stay alive. Don't forget, tomorrow, Big Noon Saturday is back in Boulder starting at 10 a.m. with Big Noon Kickoff live. Then it's Utah and Colorado at noon only on Fox. Now it's time to say goodnight from Tucson as the Arizona Wildcats get the W this evening. Big kicks by Loop, McMillan in the end zone, and all Wildcats all night. For Petros Papadakis, I'm Trent Rush. Arizona beats Houston 27-3.